Based in London. Thank you so much for your time on the program today, Tunde. Let's start this conversation with the game at the Merseyside between Liverpool and Wolves. It was a game of two halves, and the Reds found a way to curtail their visitors. Else the result would have been different.
Yes, and this is where the making of champions comes to play, because obviously sometimes when it doesn't go well for you, you have to grind out a result. And Wolves actually managed to grind and make Liverpool work for that result yesterday. It was a very difficult game for the Liverpool, or they had it easy. The important thing is they got the 3 points, and that's what they're going to hold on to going into the next game.
Well, to corroborate what you just said, Tunde, let's take a look at what the stats really looked like between Liverpool and Wolves. 3 shots on target for the home team, as against 4 shots on target for the visiting team. To tell you that the second half, it was all about Wolves, and they did not take their feet off the gas as they sought for an equalizing goal. 6 shots off target, a total of 9 shots by the home team Liverpool. 7 shots off target by Wolves, a total of 11 shots. Ball possession, 50-50. I cannot remember the last time Liverpool played a game and shared the possession with the opposite team. Corner kicks, 4-3. Throw-ins, 21-15. Goalkeeper saves. The Liverpool goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, was the busiest on the day. 3 saves on the day for the Premier League title chasers. And goal kicks, 8-8. A confirmation that, the pressure was on both sides today.
What was more remarkable is that the 9 shots that Liverpool took, all in that game, came in the first half. They did not have a shot in the second half at all. They did not. Wolves actually curtailed them and made them really work hard defensively and did not allow them out into their final third at all. So it was credit to Wolves. They got nothing. They came out of Anfield with nothing. But you would see the rigors of the season were starting to show in Liverpool team that lost last week in the FA Cup to Plymouth, that ground out that 2-2 draw against Everton early in the week. And now the gaps are getting closer and closer. But because, for whatever reason, the other teams are not taking advantage, they're still strolling to the title at the moment. That could change.
Okay, well, in London, Arsenal left it quite late, and they had to wait for substitute Mikel Merino to do the magic with 2 late goals. Merino is naturally a midfield player, but was asked to play as a striker, and he did the job. He scored 2 goals. And when asked post-match if he was comfortable with the role, he responded he would play on any part of the pitch if needed to do so. He said he would even play as a goalkeeper if the coach wants him to do so today.
That's a team player for you. That's a player who got brought in by the manager, who said to him, and they share a common name, so are you surprised? And he said he brought in by his manager to say, I want you to work for me and with me. And he went in there to work for his manager. So the important thing was he came in there prepared to step up in any role, but he didn't only step up, he actually delivered. Not just 1 goal, 2 goals. And that's a lot. 2 goals in the Premier League in a role that he wasn't used to. He had never, according to him, had never played in that role before. And they were struggling. They had a great player in Ethan Nwaneri who was doing very well, but the deliveries were not meeting with the finish that we wanted to see until Merino came on board. So that's a player, that's a team player, but that's also a player who is prepared to give his life to the manager that brought him in.
We've seen players get converted from one role to the other on the pitch. Perhaps Merino may just be Arsenal's latest striker for the rest of the season. You talked about Ethan Nwaneri. He is another lad that Arsenal fans are impressed with at the moment. He was a spotlight for Arsenal in that game against Leicester, though Merino got the goals. Is he filling the big shoes of Bukayo Saka?
He is at the moment. He is. We're not feeling the Saka miss so much. I mean, I tell you what, some Arsenal fans have already started to call him the CAF Player of the Year for 2025 or Ballon d'Or winner for the year because he's playing so well. And obviously, for whatever reason, why not? The boy is playing very well. He's doing very well. And the shoes left by Bukayo Saka are being filled adequately, more than adequately. On top of what he is doing, he's fearless. He's 17 years old. He's got no fear in him. He goes for whatever he feels that he wants to do. He just goes for it. And that's exactly what Arsenal need at the moment, because they will be short on confidence because everybody else is scared, worried. Am I actually going to get injured if I make this run or whatever, because of what happened to Bukayo, because of what happened to Havertz and all those ones. But here's a boy who doesn't think about these things because he's only 17 and he just wants to play football.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what he's doing. And not only is he doing it, he's doing it absolutely wonderfully. I'm jealous of the Arsenal team, jealous of the Arsenal team, because they've got a gem, a real gem in that boy.
You would be more jealous if they get to win the Premier League title today. Anyways, let's talk about this man, Mamouche. Erling Haaland was on the pitch, but it was Mamouche that stole the show with a hat-trick when Manchester City crushed Newcastle United. The Egyptian is making a very huge impact in the Premier League. So Liverpool has Mohamed Salah, City have Mamouche.
It's Egyptian. It's an Egyptian oppression of the Premier League at the moment. They're just invading us in England with talent, with show. The very first game of Mamouche was against Chelsea at the Etihad. And I looked at him and I thought, okay, so opposing teams cannot stop Haaland. The one that can stop Haaland is his own teammate from taking the shine sometimes. And this one, he runs well. He finds spots of spaces. He is a very technical player. And I tell you something, this guy is going places if he continues the way he's going. What he needs to do, keep his head, stay humble. Like Haaland said, stay humble and do the things that he has to do and do them consistently and do them well and be like Salah. Salah is a very humble lad. He's a down-to-earth lad, and if he can do the same, he'll go places. Salah's probably on his last legs, and we're having a handover of power from one pharaoh of Egypt to the other, at the other side of Merseyside.
Absolutely. And while these Egyptians are doing so well, there is a Nigerian called Calvin Bassey, who, of course, has scored the winning goal as Fulham beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. The last time Calvin scored a goal was in February last year. He certainly likes to score in the month of love, in the month of February. But his goal this weekend was very crucial.
Hey, I'm Calvin Bassey. He's my boy. He's my son. I always call him my football son because I found him and I brought him into the Nigerian national team some years ago. And Calvin is, I'm very proud of what he did. It's great. You know, somebody had to stop Nottingham Forest because the rate at which they were going. Mm-hmm. The Nottingham fans cannot learn to keep quiet, even if they try. They are so proud and arrogant of what their team has achieved. And it was good to burst their bubble a little bit. And it was good that it was my boy Calvin that actually did it. That was a priceless goal. And I was so proud when I saw it happen. So proud. Great goal for him. And it shows it's not only February that Calvin can do stuff. He made a few mistakes in his career in the national team and also for his club. But that one canceled out many mistakes that he must have made.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Everton, who are resurgent since the return of David Moyes. Certainly, he didn't have time to make an impact at Manchester United, but we saw how this man revived West Ham. You are a football coach. What does David Moyes bring to his teams?
Man management. Man management. That's the key. He came into the team. I'm not going to change a lot. I'm not going to change too much, but I want you to play for the badge because that badge is important. Do you go out to the pitch? Go out and look at the crowd. Look at the Evertonians. Look at what it means to them to actually come day in, day out to come and watch you guys and then go there and slaughter yourselves for them. And that's exactly what David Moyes is all about. He is a passionate Scotsman. He wasn't anointed by Sir Alex Ferguson because Alex loved him or loved his face. Alex knew that he had passion for the game, and he would have done great things for Manchester United if they'd allowed him to stay. But they didn't. It was their loss because they haven't settled since the day he left them. Since Sir Alex left Man United, they've had, 6, 7 managers, and it's still not going right. They're heading down relegation way at the moment, unfortunately. But David Moyes on the other side, the resurgence, you can't say it's the luck of football. You can't say it's the players that are suddenly any better. It is the man management of this guy who knows how to be a father figure in the team and who knows how not to panic even when there's a problem. And that's exactly what they did. That's why they got that late equalizer against Liverpool, and that's how they won the game against Crystal Palace yesterday.
All right, let's talk about the team you support, Chelsea Football Club. They have been indifferent, this season. I mean, it's quite difficult to predict which Chelsea turns up on match day, whether it would be a good ball-playing Chelsea or a terrible side like we saw at the weekend. Goalkeeper Sanchez was relegated. Petrovic was made first choice, but nothing has changed, Tunde.
Nothing can change because, again, when you talk about management of a team, the team is not only managed from the bench, it is managed from the boardroom. And when you have an overloaded squad of 40 and you decide that you want to shed them and you want to get rid of them, a lot of the players, but without looking at the positions that you're getting rid of them, you're just getting rid of players because you need to reduce the numbers. And you don't even care who you're losing and who you're gaining, then that's what happens. So now Chelsea has no attacking options. Now Chelsea don't have any wingers of repute. Mudryk is out, suspended. Sancho is not doing anything. Noni is now injured. Pedro never settled down, Pedro Neto, into the team before you got rid of other players. In the midfield in particular, Lavia is always an injury risk. Kane Chukwuemeka you have got rid of for whatever reason, I understand. Leslie Ugochukwu you got rid of for whatever reason, I don't understand. So where is the balance coming from? Reece James is an injury away from, just one step away from injury anytime he plays. Anytime he touches the ball, my heart goes, because you don't know what's going to happen. Cucurella is there, left back. The other left back is Chilwell, you let him go. Renato Vega, you let him go. At the end of the day, if you don't manage the squad very well, we talked about man management in Everton, we're talking about club management of clubs in a very un-American way, for goodness sake. Let's go back to England and do things properly. 2 positions, 2 star players. Joao Felix, why did you let him go? If Cole Palmer is having a bad day, why can't Joao Felix come in and make that support? No strikers. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, my friend, because there's no options. The bench of Chelsea on Friday against Brighton was full of teenagers. Not a single player of experience was on that bench apart from Tosin Adarabioyo. So there's going to be a problem. If it's not managed well, and it hasn't been managed well for a while, then it's going to be all doom and gloom before it gets better.
Let me take your mind to something that happened in that very game between Chelsea and Brighton. I mean, Chelsea were doing the playing, Brighton were doing all the scoring. And the third goal, to be very specific, there was a 1-2 between 2 Brighton players. I hope we can have pictures of that right now. And then he was through on goal. He took the shot on goal. The other player was expecting a square ball into the box. That didn't come. But the player who had the ball at the back of the net. Instead of celebrating with his teammate, the other player was remonstrating.
Yeah, it just epitomizes the
Time, and I mean, it would have been an easy tap-in for Welbeck. He was, and I thought, as a team player, under that situation, you should celebrate with your teammates because a goal has been scored, whether you were the one who scored the goal or not. But I think on this occasion, the coach would have one or two words to say with both players going forward today.
Well, Welbeck was the captain of the team on the day. He had every right to take that chance. Every right. And Welbeck should know better. He is a senior player. He should know better to know that at the end of the day, it's a goal, a team goal. We scored, and we have to celebrate it.
Absolutely. Tunde Adelakun, let me
And
say
he
very
did